These guys need to know something. Our democracy is broken. It is broken. And on this most important issue, the fact of our broken democracy creates the greatest challenge and the greatest burden, but I think a huge opportunity for all of you, because Chris is talking about huge structural issues. Let's just take one. The Republican Party used to have a fairly honorable environmental record. Richard Nixon created the EPA and signed into law the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act. Ronald Reagan closed the hole in the ozone layer. You guys probably don't even know what that is. He closed it with a cap and trade system. Both Bushes said, we need to do something on climate, and my friend John McCain ran on climate change. What changed? Why do we have a national political party in America that now denies that climate change is real, even though the evidence of it is profoundly more urgent today than when all those Republicans agreed with it? One thing, Citizens United in 2010, that gave the billionaires who were interested in doing it the ability to control Washington and to create what I call a corruption of inaction. The Supreme Court imagined this world of quid pro quo corruption, where Chris gives me $5,000 and I go hide that in my icebox and I write a bill for Chris. And they worried about the appearance of that. And so they said, okay, well, we should put a limit. We'll allow a limit on what Chris can give to me. But when it came to independent expenditures, they said, well, those are independent. They won't cause America to lose faith in our democracy. And so they allowed billionaires to give unlimited amounts of money. And guess what happens when you do that? All they have to do is rattle the change in their pocket. If we start talking about climate on Capitol Hill, and they say, really, Republican? Because if you do that, we'll invest $30 million, which is nothing to us, in your next primary. And ever since then, as a result, we can't even have a freaking conversation about climate change on the floor or in a... So when Greta says work harder, what she's saying is we all have to work harder to build a politics to overcome this special interest. It's not about changing a rule. It's not about whether we stay later on a day or have lunch together. It is about the structural issues in our democracy that are tearing our democracy apart, that have put a climate denier in the White House and somebody who doesn't believe in the rule of law, the separation of powers, or anything else this democracy has ever believed in. And that work is only going to happen if you do what needs to be done between now and Election Day 2020.